This video is a sales training video based on my recollection of what I learned from Warren Lewis. And you may have seen this is Warren Lewis's stool. I'm very grateful that his sons allowed me to have that. Warren used to get that out of his trunk when he would do sales training for my team at Preferred Warranties. He liked to sit up on that, so it's really a pleasure to have it, and it's a connection to him. But I want to talk about his words, not as much about him and his mentorship today. And so um, I'm going to go to a set of just 3 slides, and I encourage you to write these things down, make some pictures, and then look it up on the internet. Look up the books I'm going to mention. Um, you can learn by listening to audios from the Sandler Sales Company. You can read the book. Maybe you want to hire one of their trainers. All good. Warren Lewis was a Sandler sales franchisee for quite a few of the years that I knew him. He was training using their methodology and using their system. And it's the first type of sales training system that I ever encountered or learned from. I came from an engineering world and I learned how to sell construction projects, but not because we were reading sales books. You didn't have to be very good in that world to sell relative to other people. If you were outgoing and willing to talk and ask questions and ask for money, you could be in sales in the geotechnical engineering world. And so that was how that happened for me. But when I met Warren, we started doing more of the theory of selling. Now, this doesn't cover how you prospect, how you find new leads. What I'm going to talk about today is what do you do on your first meeting? Now, I often talk about the prosperous coach way of training, which can also be the prosperous accountant way of selling, the prosperous label solution provider way of selling. Prosperous methodology really fits with what Warren taught, and the prosperous methodology is connect, invite, create, and propose. This is like a create meeting. This is a first coaching session. This is a first needs analysis for an accountant. This is a first project meeting for an engineer, structural engineer working with an architect. This is the first conversation that somebody has who is providing home remodeling, perhaps, right? Almost anything could fit. So this is the first conversation, not how you go and fill your pipeline. That's another subject. And okay, got to get rid of some of that at the bottom. We'll be able to do it. So look up the Sandler Sales Submarine. It's a 7-compartment system. You work from left and right. Sandler said you have to take a prospect through a staged process. That a conversation has stages. Multiple conversations may be needed. And the idea of the Sandler selling system is that you are in a compartment and then you close it off and you go to the next one. Make sure you finish a compartment before you go to the next one. Now, there are times in my experience where it's not so cut and dry and you end up coming back for a next meeting. And in a sense, every meeting you do some of the early ones. So it goes bonding and rapport. Okay, spend a lot of time on that, but bonding and rapport, upfront contracts. What do you say in the beginning to set agreements for the conversation you're about to have? Looking for pain, digging for pain, expanding the pain, teasing the pain apart, looking for implications, looking how the pain is affecting them day to day, how committed they are to fix it, right? Money and budget is about commitment to fix it, how much money you have set aside to take care of this problem. A lot of people haven't thought about it, or they're not ready to talk about it, right? And then budget is also time and attention that they're willing to put into these problems, challenges, buy your solution, coaching package, consulting package, whatever it is you got. Decision is how do they make decisions around here? What kind of process are they going to go through to make this decision? Fulfillment is presentation, fulfillment to their pains, fulfillment to what they've told you is important, how you can help, what your solution is. Propose, connect, invite, create. Fulfillment is about a proposal a lot of times, but not sending a proposal and waiting, down by the beach for the bottle to wash back up. It's the proposal that you make with them so they can follow through. Post-sell is whatever you do afterwards to help solidify the sale. If you're in an environment where the competitor could come back in, Post sell has to do with something called rehearsal. Like, what are you going to say when Joe, your sales rep from incumbent company, comes back and gives you another offer? You rehearse them ahead of time before it happens. Post sell can also be anything you're doing to follow up and really solidify the agreement, what happened, and then move forward. So Warren Lewis trained the Sandler Submarine because that was the system he was a franchisee of, and it's very effective. You can read the book, How to Teach a Kid to Ride a Bike at a Seminar. You can go to the Sandler Sales website. You can go to the trainer near you. All good. Love it all. I'm a fan. And yeah, so that's their IP, not mine, the Submarine. Now, Warren Lewis, what he drilled into me is when you meet with somebody for the first time, right? You get it in your calendar, get it in their calendar. He'd always say, is it in ink? It's in ink in my calendar. Is it in ink in yours? So sometimes I say virtual ink. Is this in virtual ink in yours? Today's where we might send a confirmation calendar appointment, but we want to really make sure we got time in their calendar when they want to be talking to us. That's what we're going for. So when I get there and I sit down, I say, hey, and this is almost his words exactly, how much time, and he would tap his watch. I don't have a watch on. He always wore a watch, and he would say, how much time do you have set aside to talk with me today? Now, they probably schedule an hour. You have an hour in your calendar, and they go, well, an hour, that's what we said. I'm like, great, just wanted to make sure that's still good. How much time do you have set aside to talk with me today? Permission to take notes is like, hey, you're probably going to tell me some really important things. Do you mind if I write some things down so I don't forget, so I can bring it back to our next conversation? They say, great. Agenda goes like this. So what are the things you'd like to talk about today that would make this time well spent for you? Those were Warren Lewis's exact words. What are things you'd like to talk about today that would make this time well spent for you? And I use this all the time personally in my coaching business when I'm meeting with prospects. They'll give you 1, 2, 3. You write that down in your notes. Agenda item number 1. You go, okay, yeah, got it. Number 2, all right, yep, we can talk about that. Whatever it is, however many they have, 3, 4, 5, whatever they want to talk about. Sometimes they won't really know, right? They're not sure. Depends on how you set up the meeting. Hopefully, though, you've set up the meeting in such a way they know why they're coming, what pains. They kind of know already what they want to get fixed and what's not right. So and then they're checking you out, and they're going to say, I want to talk to you about how you fixed this in the past, other situations like ours. Great. Whatever they say, 1, 2, 3, I write it down. You have the opportunity to add to the agenda by saying, hey, it wouldn't make sense to talk about whatever your agenda item is, would it? And they'll say, oh, yeah, sure, that'll be fine. You make this list, then you show them the list that you've made. Be very clear, no secrets here, and say, which agenda item do you want to start with? Right? Ask them where they want to start. Ask them, which of these is most important for you? And then you can ask, why that one? Why did you pick that one? Why is that most important? And you're off to this consultative conversation where they're doing most of the talking. You're asking questions about them. Got it? Write notes, right? You want to be like the doctor or the attorney on their first visit. I'm here to help. I'm here to serve. Trying to understand. Seek first to understand, then be understood, right? So you can also say, I thought you would have picked that one. Why didn't you? Is another way to ask that. All right. Make sure I got this in order. Now, once you get your agenda items, then the next thing is, so Warren would say, you could take 3 separate pieces of paper in your journal or in your iPad, tablet, whatever you're using these days. You can take 3 separate pages or 4 or 5. Every agenda item can have its own page. And the reason you do that is because Sandler teaches, go look it up, the Sandler pain funnel. It's a core concept. And if you went through their training, if you go through the Best of Sandler audio series, which you can buy from them online, they'll go in depth on this. You can go to, you want to learn how to do a pain funnel. Spin Selling is a book. Challenger Sale to a degree. Optimal Selling. Dan Carmanico, not as well known. You could go to Jeb Blunt stuff on overcoming objections. Lots of places you can start to educate yourself on how will I take people through the pain funnel? How will I learn more? You could also call this digging deeper. Digging deeper, really getting to the root of the challenge, the problem, and why it matters. What are the implications? What is it hurting them with? So you can take this basic framework and drill in and just know if they gave me 3 agenda items, I'm going to create 3 pages and 3 funnels to go deeper. 3 excavation sites, to dig deeper, whatever you want to call it, however makes sense for you. And every page in notes, I'm going to write more as I dig into what I don't understand, because that's it. I want to understand. So I'm going to keep digging, keep understanding, get to the bottom of it before I start presenting and telling them what to do or telling them how great I totally can fix that. No, wait. Be inquisitive, ask questions. So 3 pages. And what I take notes about when I'm taking notes is really pains, needs, challenges, things I know I can come back to that I can help with, things I didn't understand I'll make a note about sometimes, like I want to circle back to, I want to get it deeper. And what's important about this is I've had people say to me, like, Wayne, you're naturally consultative, and it's inquisitiveness, it's curiosity, it's quieting the internal voice about what I want to say, what I want to tell them, and being curious about them instead. It is putting aside the noise of what I think they're thinking about me and instead turning the spotlight on them. Steve Chandler says, turn your light on others. Shine the light on others. And that's what we do. Now, again, if you look up Sandler, their pain funnel, you'll find lots of different treatments of that. You'll find reverses that they teach. I encourage you, dig into that. I encourage you, like I say, Spin Selling, wonderful book. Go into that. A little bit complex, but you don't have to read it all. Baseline Selling by Dave Kerlin. He calls it, what does he call it? When he goes from first to second in his diagram, he's looking for compelling reasons. He's digging for their compelling reason. He's trying to find it. He's like a detective, right? Read that. All good. Listen to audios when you're going down the road or in the morning or when you're on the treadmill. Listen to audios because you'll find yourself saying the things that you hear these trainers say. Immerse yourself in sales, and everybody's got to do sales. By the way, go to Og Mandino, read Greatest Salesman in the World, because that's how you get your inside right, and the heart right. Prosperous Coach, how to get clients. Read these things, study, immerse yourself, go talk to people. Importantly, you can't sit at home and just do theory. Go talk to people, make notes, review your notes, review the conversation, rewind the game film, work it with me. If I'm your coach, work it with somebody else who's your coach. If you're a person who has salespeople that's listening to this, you got to work it with them, right? All right. So the pain funnel is asking questions to go deeper, to get a better understanding. Tell me more. I'm not sure I understand. How long is this a problem? What have you done to try to fix it? Did that work? What didn't work about that? What is the impact to the rest of your business? What's the cost? What's this costing you in dollars? All of this designed to get looser, lower, and deeper and more clear. So again, look up Sandler Pain Funnel and go there. So you're having this conversation with them, and you're making your notes, and then when they're done with one, you want to paraphrase back what you heard. This is what I hear you saying. These are some important points. Is that right? Did I miss anything? What else do you want me to know? Or just what else? Right? Warren Lucy sees it all the time too. He looked funny when we do it. Because he's bald like me. And shut up. Best thing you can do in sales. All right. Now, the last page I have here is just some, what I call like bridges, or Sandler might call them reverses, although these aren't, I don't think these are really reverses. It's non-verbal and verbal things you do to get people to keep talking and let them know you're interested and to keep you interested. Sometimes by doing these things, you actually dial up being interested and you pay more attention instead of listening to your own stuff. So I as people talk to me, it's like, I'll do this sometimes, right? And it's not, and I'm really and when I do this, you can fake that, but it's better if you're really trying to connect one idea to another or to formulate another question. Easier to do it for real than fake it. So you said, and I can mumble to myself. It's okay. Like, I mean, don't go too far with this, but be like the doctor or the lawyer. And can you repeat that? If they say something bad and painful, Make sure you have bad hearing suddenly. Get them to repeat it. Say, could you say that again? So really? That bad? Huh. But again, I got to get right with my heart. I can't just be playing this to be, like manipulative. I really need to want to help them feel it, want to help them make a decision, want to help them make a change, want to help them be bold and take the next step. That's why I'm doing this, not because I just want my commission check or whatever. So energy like a doctor or lawyer. What I heard you say is that right? The bottom one says because of, right? So you're just bridging it, filling it in. So that's really that's the I think that's the most important part of what I learned from Warren Lewis. I mean, on the prospecting side, it's keep your feet moving, keep your activity up, talk to people, make your calls, even if it's uncomfortable. All those things, keep connecting, connect. But when it comes to sitting with somebody and really helping them, ask them questions that nobody else has ever asked them. Ask them questions that make them go, You'll know you're doing it right when you're asking them questions like that. Make notes, be ready to come back to it. And again, at the end of that, summarize. And then we can do things like, would you like some help with that? Right? What I hear you saying is this and this. Would you like some help with that? Yeah, I'd like some help with that. How would you help me? Well, we need to talk about money and budget and what you have available, resources to fix this, time, how much attention you can give it. And we need to talk about how you make decisions around here so that I can come and make sure everybody's comfortable with it. And then this problem here, you want to see how I'd help to fix it, right? And that's what I learned. That's the Sandler process. Hope this helps. Well, it's the Warren Lewis process. And again, lots of resources to go dig further. Write these things down. Go back and listen to it again. Go play with it. Talk to your coach or your manager. And practice. Be on the field. I have the Teddy Roosevelt Man in the Arena behind me, not on the field. But you gotta be mixing it up, and you'll get bad feelings, and you'll get concerns that you're failing and screwing it up. All normal. Keep leaning in. Pleasure to share a little bit of Warren Lewis with you. Tapping the watch. How much time do you have set aside to talk with me today? So good. See you.